My name is Katie Calero. My pronouns are she, her. I graduated from Cornell undergraduate in 2021. So I'm an ADHDer. I also have different sensory sensitivities and anxiety as well. And so those all sort of play together to make me who I am. I'm an ADHDer, but I loved school and I loved that kind of challenge. So when it came to tests, and like giving extra time, that was never something that I necessarily needed when I was younger because I was always one of the first ones to finish. Like it was like a race against the clock kind of game for me. And so I just enjoyed that and I, wanted to do well and like would rip through it and just sort of sit there and hyper focus on the test essentially. And so I wouldn't need more time and then I got to the point at some point where my anxiety would kick in and people would be like, oh wow, you're always finishing first, like that must means like you didn't do that great on the exam. But I was still doing well in my classes. But I know many other ADHDers who need extra time on their exams, and it is like so important for them because they don't necessarily get in that same sort of hyper-focused state because once again, you can't choose when that happens. And if you're especially not super interested, engaged, or excited about taking this test, it can feel like a very big chore. And it's a lot harder to stay focused on that when you just don't want to do it. It's almost impossible to bring yourself to do it. And so in that situation, like other ADHDers really need that extra time. And even personally, I do have like extra time accommodations now that I don't necessarily exercise all the time because I don't necessarily, for me, I feel like in some scenarios having that extra time would take away that pressure to finish fast and would kind of make me like kind of stress me out more that I have, oh my gosh, I have all this time and well, they gave me extra time, but I finished it before then. So maybe like they're gonna think like, why are we giving her this extra time? And so I kind of use it when I know I'm going to be in a situation where I'm not going to be able to get myself involved and interested and like excited about this test. And that's especially a lot when there's like other factors in like my personal life that are influencing that. And I think accommodations also vary within the person when you need them. And so I have a lot of accommodations that I don't even necessarily use all the time. And maybe it's only during a certain class, or maybe it's only during a certain, a few weeks where I'm just really struggling. But the ability to have those there to fall back on is super important.